Hi Year 2 and welcome to our first online maths lesson. Our new unit will be pictographs, and today's lesson will focus on reading pictographs. There are a few things you'll need for this maths lesson. You will need your 2A workbook if you took it home from school. If you don't have that with you, not to worry. In the file on the class story where we post our usual tasks for the day, I will also be including pictures of the workbook so you can use those. You'll also need some blank paper. It could be lined paper, squared paper, plain paper. That is absolutely fine. It can be the back of some paper that's already been used for something else if you want to do some recycling, just as long as you have some space where you can do some writing and figuring out some answers. You'll also need a pencil, and finally you will need someone to talk to, because part of our partner work will be sharing our ideas and explanations. If there is an adult around to help you, that would be great. If there's a brother or sister who's around to help you, that would be great. If not, you can choose a toy. Try to choose a toy who's quite good at maths though, because if they're not very good at maths, they might not be able to help you at all, and you will end up doing all of the work. So, some of the vocabulary we'll need for this unit. The first word is data. Data means information. Now, it can mean any kind of information at all, but in maths it usually means number information. So that could be how many people went to a particular place. It could be how much money there is all added together. It could be how much something weighs. Any kind of information we can call data. The other important word that we're going to need is graph. We've heard graph in some phonics words before. Can you remember any phonics words that have graph in them? Well done if you remembered digraph or trigraph. The word digraph means one sound that has two written letters. Di means two, and graph means something that is written or drawn. So anytime we show information in a way that is written or drawn, we can call it a graph. You can see a few pictures here of different types of graphs. In this unit we'll be looking at picture graphs, so those will be graphs made up of little pictures. Now, our in-focus task to get us started. You can see two different displays or arrays of the same data, the same information. We're looking at how many stars group D has. So there are two different displays here, one here and one over here. With your partner, I'd like you to pause the video for 2 or 3 minutes and discuss which display you think is easier to count and why. You can pause now. So, I think that this display is easier to count because the stars are arranged in a straight line. When we're trying to count over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we have to move in more than one direction, and it would be quite easy to miss or forget a star. In this display, however, we can count them all moving in the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A bit like when your teacher asks you to line up. We always ask for a straight line because that makes it easier for us to count you. We could even count these ones in 2s quite easily, or 5s, or 10s. Let's try 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, plus one more, 9. So here we have a pictograph, which can also be called a pictogram. Before I explain anything about it, I want you to pause the video for another 2 or 3 minutes and discuss with your partner what you notice about this picture graph. You can describe what you can see, if it reminds you of anything, if you've seen anything like this before, and where. 2 or 3 minutes, off you go. Now let's have a look at this picture graph in a bit more detail. The first thing we notice is that it has a title, Class 1H's reward chart. This is really important. If we didn't give it this title up here, we wouldn't know what it was about. Somebody might think it's how many stars in the sky these groups can see. Maybe they think it's how many stars that group have lost. So it's really important to give every picture graph a title so everyone can understand what the information or the data is about. We can also just figure out some facts from it. For example, we can see that Group D has the most number of stars. Before we even count those stars or look at the numbers over here, we can see just by looking at the picture graph that Group D has the most. We can also see very easily that Group B has the least number of stars, or the fewest stars. Throughout this unit, we'll be using least number and fewest to mean the same thing. Again, before even looking at the numbers or doing any counting, it's clear to see that Group B has the fewest stars because there's so much empty space in this bar compared to the others. We can also see that Group A has as many stars as Group C. We can look at things in a little bit more detail as well. Look at this question. How many more stars do Group D have than Group B? So we can see that Group D have more than Group B, but this question is asking us how many more? What is the difference? So Group B have 3. How many more would it take to get to how many Group B have, which is 9? What is the difference between 3 and 9? There are 2 different ways we can figure out this missing number sentence problem. We could count on. Starting at 3, how many jumps would it take to get to 9? Starting at 3, we could say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We used 6 fingers to get to 9, so we can say 3 plus 6 equals 9. We could also subtract. We know that 3 plus something equals 9, so we can say 9 take away 3 will equal that something. We know that 9 take away 3 equals 6 because we can figure that out in our head. We could answer some questions about how many fewer are in each group. For example, how many fewer stars do Group B have than Group A? Again, we can write a missing number sentence for this. 8, which is how many stars Group A have, take away something will bring us down to 3, which is how many stars Group B have. We can use counting on or counting back again. We start with 8. How many fingers would we need to put down to get to 3? If you hold your hands up like this now, 5 on one hand, 3 on the other, you will notice straight away that there's an easy way to get to 3 without counting in ones. You'll probably notice that if you put down all of the fingers on this hand, you will have just 3 on this hand. So our answer is 5. 8 minus 5 equals 3. The second method we could use would be subtraction. We know that 8 minus something will bring us to 3. So we can say 8 minus 3 will leave us with that something. Again, in our head or on our fingers, we can figure out that 8 minus 3 equals 5. Now it is time for guided practice. Here we have a different picture graph called How We Come to School, where each smiley face stands for or represents one pupil. I'd like you to look carefully at this picture graph, and with your partner, you're going to write 5 sentences about the picture graph. You can scroll back to look at the other examples to help you, and I've given you a list of words that will help that I'd like you to include in your sentences. More than, fewer than, most, least, as many as. You might not be able to use all of them, so think carefully. If you'd like to really challenge yourself, you could do one of the trickier questions that we just did. How many more does one group have compared to the other? You also might like to have a think about how this group of children compares to our classes. We used to do our travel tracker and think about which way we come to school, whether it's walking, cycling, scooting, car, train, bus. Have a think about how this group of children compares to our classes. This will probably take you 5 or 10 minutes working with your partner. Well done on your first guided practice at home. Now it's time for some independent work. The work we're going to do is in our workbooks, pages 229 and pages 230. Again, if you don't have your workbook with you at home, I'll put the pictures of these pages in the PDF file on our class story. We'll be looking at a different picture graph in each question, and you've got some sentences underneath to fill in some blanks. It's important that you read the whole sentence before you fill in the blank. This will probably take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. I would like everybody to do at least the first 5 minutes independently. If you come across a question that you're finding very hard to figure out, that's okay. You can pause that question and move on and try another one. There might be some other questions that you can answer independently. I would really like everybody to have a go for at least 5 minutes working independently before they ask somebody for help. Don't forget to write the date in your book. Today is the 27th of April, which is the 4th month in the year 2020. There are also some challenges on the next page if you'd like to push yourself after you've finished. Okay, our challenges are: you can either continue on in the workbook or on the pages in our PDF file on the class story to do pages 231 and 232. There's a type of question in those graphs that I haven't covered in the example. I wonder if you can figure out how to answer that question without my help. Or you might like to have a go at this problem. Some children make a chart of how many books they read in a week. The key explains what the picture represents, and here one rectangle stands for one book. We can see Ben's books, Kemi's books, AJ's books, and Sita's books. Which children read fewer than 5 books? Circle them. There are 2 clues here about our answer. The words children and them. Think carefully. Do children and them refer to one person or more than one person? Children and them are plural words, so that means they're talking about more than one person. So it looks like you will need to do more than one circle for this answer. There's a bigger picture of this problem in the PDF file on the class story. Best of luck and I'll see you here tomorrow where I'll show you some answers from today and we'll get ready for our next lesson. Good luck!